Okay, kind of a weird video. I guess continuing from that sort of a red pill, blue pill kind of dating thing I did. Plus, I know sometimes people on stream, they want me to talk about like stories of me and girls and everything like that. And I've always said I'm kind of like the fake alpha male. I'm not that cool, trust me. I can tell you a lot of crazy good stories with girls, and I can tell you a lot of fail beta stories. God, I know. Fuck, how should I segue into this? I know I was doing a modeling thing this weekend, and I was even talking to this dude. And one of my biggest things that I was trying to say in the last video about the red pill is only take half the red pill, don't take the full red pill. Because when you take half the red pill and you realize that nothing matters, you're still motivated to do something. But if you take a full red pill, then you'll actually not want to do anything. So I was just trying to like, I know I was trying to like kind of tell this dude, take advantage of all your opportunities, right? You only live once, right? And I was again here, and this is just to show like I'm not actually cool. I was showing him my phone, and I'm like, yeah, dude, look at my phone, dude. You can see like whose number do you think that is? Like, dude, I'm kind of like a somewhat known nobody. I got people on my phone that have technically been in Hollywood movies, right? People that are actually somebody's, right? You know what I mean? But here I am with you. We're modeling right now because he's like a much younger dude than me. And I'm like, you know what, dude? And I didn't take advantage. Like, how much money I'm going to get paid for this, you know, was nothing compared to when I was younger. And I just didn't take advantage of all my things. And now I have, you know what I mean? Like, look at all these crazy people that I actually have on my phone that I know, but here I am, a nobody, right? And that kind of goes with, I've always said too, I think social proof is actually one of the most important things about game because again, going from the last video, personally, me, I have a disingenuous social proof, and it looks weird because it's like Clayton. Why do you know like sort of like I guess not like Brad Pitt famous, but why do you know people that have been in movies? Why do people know who you are sometimes when you go out and you have people ask for your autograph before you get banned from sites because people think you're a celebrity, but you're actually not. You're not really important actually, so it seems weird, right? And I don't use things like Instagram, etc. very well, right? Because it's just not me. But whatever the case, take advantage. You know what I mean? You only live once. But anyway, I also get nervous about telling too many weird girl stories because some girls I actually still talk to, right? So I don't know if I want to make them look bad or look strange. But okay, let's try to tell some stories. Let's start off with some like beta stories, right? So people don't think I'm actually that cool, and they know that I actually suck, right? So, um, okay, so I had just been like kicked out of high school, right? And I got kicked out of high school when I was like 15 years old, basically. I wasn't a very good kid. Actually, it's more so just the school sucked, I think. I wasn't that bad of a kid, but so, and around the time that I got kicked out of school, I was really unpopular in school for a while. And just around the time that I had quit, or I got kicked out of school, I started getting popular again, right? And I started changing how I looked, I guess, you know what I mean? You grow up, you go through puberty, all this kind of crap, right? And I started becoming cool. And, I eventually was going to get a job as a model and all this kind of stuff, right? So, again, this is going to be a huge beta story. So I was working at Kroger. And again, I was really popular and lots of girls liked me, but I was never really doing anything with them because I was still like shy and all that kind of stuff. And so, God, I feel like this is not as interesting as when I told it on stream already because I've done too much of a segue. Anyway, so I used to do carts a lot at Kroger, right? Because I could just stay to myself and, you're kind of getting exercise, walking all around all the time, you know what I mean? Pushing and doing whatever the fuck you're doing. And I could do that all day. I just thought it was like really easy, right? So at one point I was just like taking a break and I'm like sitting down on this like bench, right? And this new hot girl had just started working at Kroger, and oh my God, I was either 15 or 16 and she was 14, and oh man, she was so fucking hot. Like, dude, oh my God, I busted so many nuts to this girl thinking about doing her back then, dude. But anyway, right? So I hadn't actually talked to her yet. because I used to just stay to myself. And she came over and she like sat next to me on the bench, and she's like, Clayton, you know, you're the only person who hasn't actually talked to me yet, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess I haven't, right? And she's like, yeah, you know, everyone here is always just talking about my DSL all the time. And I'm like, I was still like pretty big nerd, right? So I'm like, your DSL, and I'm like, your dish satellite network? Like, what the fuck? Why would they be talking about? I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. She's like, no, Clayton, my dick sucking lips, right? And oh man, she had amazing lips, right? And I was like, oh, dude, no, yeah, I fucking noticed them, dude. Yeah, I totally noticed them. And she's like, yeah, everyone's always talking about me sucking dick all the time, right? I was like, oh shit. I was like, fuck. That's what I'm thinking about too, right? Anyway, so we had started, I had started making this joke with her, like I couldn't even look at her after she said that. I was like, because you know I'm gonna be thinking about that, right? So I used to pretend that, like, yeah, that's why I'm avoiding you because you're like too hot, and it's like making me nervous, right? So anyway, we started like being flirty a little bit at work, right? And God, again, there used to be this guy named Church Boy. I used to call him Church Boy. I don't remember his exact name. And Church Boy used to always try to bag on me and was always being fucking weird at work. And he's like, you know, Clayton, I don't know why all the other girls like you. Like, what's so good about you? I'm like, I don't know, Church Boy. What do you care? And he's always like, you know, Clayton, how many friends do you even have on Instant Messenger? I got so many friends on Instant Messenger, I have to delete people to just make more room for them, right? So I think I'm actually like much cooler than you. It's like, okay, church boy, fucking awesome, bro. Cool story, dude. Right? And I remember one time this girl was like, Clayton, she's like, have you ever kissed anyone yet? And I'm like, no. She's like, Clayton, let's go on break right now, right? And I'm like, oh my God, dude, fuck. Huge regret. You already know where this story is going, right? You already know. Long story short, I'm not getting laid during this story. But anyway, so we go on break, and I remember Church Boy comes. She's like, "Oh yeah, I heard you and so and so were going on break, so I thought, we should all hang out together." And I'm like, "Dude, are you fucking kidding me, dude?" And she like looked at me, and she's like, "Oh God," right? There goes the camera. Did the camera just not? And she's like, Clayton, you need to learn how to drive already so we can hang out alone. And of course, I got kicked out of driver's ed because I wasn't a very good kid, right? So, which was complete bullshit as well, another story. But, and I just looked at Church Boy and I'm like, man, what the fuck is your problem, dude, right? So this dude used to always fucking follow us around and he was just such a total fucking church cock block. But anyway, so eventually, God, I remember I bought this girl a necklace for Christmas and everything. And she was like, Clayton, she's like, I wore that necklace every day to school just to show everyone, right? Because I was like the cool guy somehow that was never actually doing anything with girls because I was such a fucking loser. But anyway, eventually, it's just like, man, we're never going to do anything. And she left work or something. Maybe it was her birthday I got that for. Maybe it wasn't Christmas. I don't fucking remember, dude. But anyway, so I remember she had left for the summer and we were just emailing each other back and forth, right? Because that's the only way we would talk back then. And then I remember this is the movie moment. This is like the cringy moment where you can see like, oh my God, like this was Clayton's movie moment. He just totally fucking failed himself, right? And so she had stopped working during the summer while I was still working there. And then towards the end of the summer, I was pushing carts again. And God, it was just like out of a movie, dude. And like the sun was setting, like it was like a red tint to everything, you know what I mean? And she was just like came walking through the parking lot and she was like, Clayton, I work at Kroger again. And I'm like, holy shit, this girl that I've had a crush on for like the past year that I was too lame to actually do something with, right? And she's like, Clayton, let's go to the back right now, right? And I'm like, yes, let's do it, dude, right? So we go back to the back of like the break room, I guess, basically, where we call it, where everyone punches out. No joke, dude. This is how fucking cringy and how beta this is, right? We both just stand at the back next to the break room where everyone punches in and out, right? And we probably stood there for probably like 20 minutes or something and didn't even do anything and just fucking stared at each other like a bunch of awkward teenagers. Like I'm about to, oh my God, why the fuck did I do anything? How fucking, ugh. fucking feels terrible even now, right? We just stared at each other probably like 15, 20 minutes and didn't say anything, right? I just looked at her and God, she had these fucking amazing lips, right? Like she was, like I said, I busted tons of nuts about thinking about doing stuff with her, dude. And I remember like people were like checking out of the break room, like, dude, is Clayton actually gonna finally do something with her? And I remember like a couple of times like the ladies walked by us and they just like looked at me like, what the fuck are you two doing, right? And eventually again, it was like probably 15, 20 minutes later, she's like, well, Clayton, I actually do have to go to work, right? Eventually, right? And she just walked back and she walked back to work. And I remember like some of the older girls were back there. She's like, the older ladies came back to like console me, dude. And they're like, Clayton, it's okay if you're gay. You can just admit if you're gay. You know what I mean? I know you're really popular and all the girls like you and you're never really doing anything with them. So you can just admit you're gay. It's okay. And I'm like, no, I swear I'm not gay. I just, oh God, it was just, I could tell you so many crazy stories at Kroger, right? Again, because I was actually, I remember again, I worked at Kroger from I was about 15 to like maybe 18 or something. I worked from Kroger. I remember I used to have all these older girls used to follow me around, drunk girls. I remember even teachers from when I used to go to school had come in and kind of like flirted with me. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I could tell you a lot of fucking crazy stories from Kroger, right? But anyway, so that was my huge beta story. And I remember years later, the girl I'm talking about, she ended up being in Playboy and stuff like that, and I've seen her on TV and everything like that, and really small world, right? I don't think she ever became super famous, but again, I saw she did some like Playboy stuff or something like that, and again, I actually ended up seeing her on TV before. Really fucking weird, right? And again, small world story about this is just a way to end this story. So small world, she had ended up moving back pretty close to me, right? And it was kind of just something like, hey, we haven't seen each other in like 10 years or however fucking long it's been. It's like, yeah, do you ever want to go get Starbucks or something and catch up? And the thing is, she's had like multiple kids now, I think, and stuff like that, and she's married. So it's like, dude, I'm not trying to get with you, dude. Like, I'm not about that, dude. Right? I mean, she still looks, fine, I think, right? But I mean, I don't like fucking care, dude, right? You know what I mean? I used to bust nuts to you, thinking about doing all sorts of crazy shit with you when I was a kid, right? You know what I mean? But now I don't really fucking care, right? It doesn't really interest me, right? But it's kind of funny because, we had talked for a little bit, and she's always like, well, Clay, and I know my husband would never let me hang out with a guy like you alone. You know that, right? And it's like one of those awkward moments where you're kind of like, well, dude, I don't want to like ruin your parade, but I'm actually don't really care about doing anything with you, right? You know what I mean? But you can't really say that because it's like, I know she does look at my Snapchat. I don't think she looks at my face or my YouTube, so hopefully she doesn't see this video that I just said that, right? But and it's funny because I've seen her in stores a couple of times. We've both been in the store, like randomly like passing each other at the mall, almost like that. It's kind of weird because she like looks at me and I kind of look at her, and it's like really awkward, right? Because then her husband is there, and like she'll have to like look away when the husband looks at her, like, "Are you looking at someone?" And it's kind of like I don't know. And it's just kind of funny because it's like I don't know. You can't be mean and be like, dude, tell your husband I actually don't care about fucking you at all, dude. You got multiple kids. It doesn't interest me, dude. I wanted to bang you, of course. When I want to do lips are really my weakness, dude. Oh man. Anyway, that's my huge beta cringe story. And you can be like, wow, Clayton, I cannot believe you had a chance with this. She was really hot back then, dude. 14-year-old version of her, 14, 15, whatever version of her was fucking smoking, dude. One of the hottest girls I remember from being a kid, man. Man, she was a babe. But, anyway, that's one of my beta cringe stories. And you can be like, Clayton, I can't believe you didn't pull the trigger. But dude, what are you gonna do, right? Again, I'm afraid to tell how many like like I'm afraid to get into like how many real stories I can tell that I've done with girls, and I don't want to like post anyone kind of like semi in the media because that might seem kind of weird. And even a lot of people I know, they look at my. I know some girls are still on my Facebook, some girls I still talk to, so I'm kind of weird if I should like post some of them. That's why I feel like it's easier just to talk about it on stream and hopefully no one like saves it. But I mean, I don't know. There's a girl story for you about me being a huge beta and fucking it up, dude. Um, I know people want to hear girl stories sometimes. Just not sure how many I should actually tell. So there's a snippet of me being a beta. I feel like this was much more interesting on stream because it was more natural, but there you go. There's me failing. There's a story that should tell you should take advantage of your opportunities in life while you have them, right?